Viewers, Shiraz Ahmad Khan, your host, welcomes you in this video. Viewers, today we are going to start an entirely different topic from rest of the topics which are learned so far. And in order to proceed further, first of all, open a blank document in Microsoft Word. And for that purpose, we'll have to start the Word first. And once the Word is launched, open a new or blank document in Microsoft Word. Because home tab, it's almost done. The groups or sections, and inside the groups or sections, the required options for a beginner, for a newbie, are almost discussed. So now we are heading towards the second tab, and that is Insert tab. So first of all, click the Insert tab. In the Insert tab, once again, you can see different groups and sections, and inside each group or section you can see different icons or options are appearing. So from the left side, if you find the second group, that is the tables group, we are starting the actually we are going to learn how to insert a table in Microsoft Word, and rest of the next few videos, almost 4 to 5 videos, they will be the continuation of today's video. Viewers, before we start the learning that how to insert a table, we'll have to understand that what do we mean by table, or what a table is. Because a table is a collection or matrix of rows and columns. By rows we mean something horizontal, and by columns we mean something vertical. So in order to insert a table, we'll have to decide first that how many tables or rows this table is going to be having. So click the drop down arrow of this tables option in the tables group. Because there are 3 different methods of inserting a table. One method is by mouse hovering these black boxes, and you can see that in the text editor the number of rows and columns are automatically being inserted using or through mouse hovering these boxes. The second method of inserting table is using the very first option under these black boxes, insert table. We'll come back to this option after the 1 or 2 videos. And the last method of inserting a table that is in our syllabus is to draw the table. So in today's video, we are going to insert a table by using the very first option, the very first method of inserting a table. And for example, as a sample case, today we are going to insert a table initially with 3 rows and 3 columns. And the combination is shown on the top of the title bar of this pop-up menu. So mouse over and stop it here, and once it is stopped, click, because without clicking you won't see any table in the text editor. So click over it. Look, the table is inserted finally in the text editor. One more thing, viewers, once the table is inserted, you can see that automatically the new 2 tabs are visible. One is known as the Design tab. Do not mix up this Design tab with this Design tab. This Design tab is a general Design tab, and this Design tab is particular for the table. Similarly, this Layout tab, previously we didn't observe or see this Layout tab, but after the insertion of the table, this Layout tab is automatically appearing, and they both are relevant with the table tools, as you can clearly observe here. Table tools, design, and layout. I'll come back to these 2 tabs in connection with the table in the next videos. So up till now we have learned that how to insert a table, and if you click inside the table, both of these tabs would be visible. If you click outside the table, you will observe that automatically these two tabs, they are disappeared. It means that our control or our cursor, it's outside the table. So the first thing in today's video it's learned, that is how to insert a table. Now the second part of today's video is how to insert a new column or new row. There are different methods of doing this. First of all, let's understand that what are rows and what are columns. Because if you look at this table horizontally this way, this is a single row, row number 2, and this is row number 3. Similarly, if you look at this table vertically, this is column number 1, this is column number 2, and this is column number 3. So overall we can say that we have a table with 3 columns and 3 rows. First of all, let's learn that how to type text inside the table. For that purpose, you'll have to click with the help of mouse inside these boxes. And the technical name of these boxes, we should call them cells of the table. So a table will be having, or a table has rows, it has columns, and cell is a blank box or is a box that is combination of row and column. So in order to type something inside the table, you'll have to click inside that particular cell of the table. So we are taking start from the very first cell from the left side of the table, and let's start something inside it, serial number. Now the next thing is how to move to how to take this cursor or how to take the control to the next cell of the table. You can click inside the second cell of the table, or you can press tab key. There is a key on the keyboard. If you press tab key, it will shift the cursor to the next cell of the table. Now type another text there. Once again, in order to proceed further, press tab key again. It will take us to the next cell of the table. So here we have successfully typed text inside the cells of the table. Now the next thing is, if you want to make modifications in this text, you can make modifications very easily, like we make modifications in the text editor. The same way you can make use of del key, you can make use of backspace key. All the keys, they work the same way as they work in the usual text editor. Tab key is used to move the cursor to the next cell. Similarly, if you press shift and tab both together, it will shift the cursor to the previous cell. So I'm pressing shift tab here. Look, automatically the contents are selected of the previous cell. If I again press shift tab, it will take me one step back. Now let's learn how to insert new columns or new rows, and before doing that, let me quickly feed some data inside it so that we can easily view, or we can easily differentiate between the different rows and different columns. So this is the data that is typed. Now let's learn how to insert columns and insert rows. First thing, viewers, in order to insert a row at the end of the table, I'm trying to put emphasis onto it. In order to insert a row, a new row at the end of the table, the simplest or the quickest way is to place the cursor in the last cell of the table and press the tab key. As we have seen earlier, the tab key is used to shift the cursor to the next cell. Because the cursor was in the last cell of the table and we pressed tab, it was a message for Microsoft Word that insert a new row after this last row of the table. So tab key is the quickest method to insert a row at the end of the table. Similarly, in order to insert a row in between the two rows, for example, if we want to insert a row in between this serial number 1 and serial number 2, the quickest method is to place the cursor outside the table. Outside the table. How can we place the cursor outside the table? Just click outside this area. I'm clicking here. Look, you can see that the cursor is blinking now outside the borders of the table. This is what I meant, that place the cursor outside that particular row and now press enter key. So once again, this is the quickest method to insert a new row in between the two rows. Now let's see some other methods of performing the same operation. In order to insert a new row in between the two rows, just mouse hover in between the row dividers. What do we mean by row dividers? This is basically this line, this one. It's a row divider between this row and this row. So move the mouse pointer over this row divider, and when you see this plus symbol, it actually means that if you click this plus symbol, it will insert a new row in between the two rows. Just click this. Look, one new row is inserted. Using the same way, you can insert as many rows as you want in between the two rows. So we have learned so far how to insert rows at the end of the table and how to insert rows in between the two rows by using the quickest method, the shortcut key, that is enter, and by using the plus symbol. Similarly, you can right click inside any of the cells of the row. Right click inside any of the cells of the row, like I am right clicking inside the first cell of the second row. It will show a context menu, and from this context menu you can choose the insert option. And look at these, the second last and the third last options: insert rows above, insert rows below. This way we can insert a row above this row, the one where we right clicked, or below this row. So I'm clicking above row. Look, one row is inserted above the row in which we right clicked. And for right clicking, there is no need to right click inside the first cell of the row. You can right click anywhere and you can see the same context menu and the same insert option and the same insert rows above, insert rows below options. So we learned three methods of inserting row. Another method is there, but we'll discuss it at some later point. Now let's learn how to insert columns. In order to insert column, once again, if you mouse hover in between the column dividers, you can see again the plus symbol. This plus symbol actually means the same, that if I click this, it will insert a new column. And if you want to repeat the same process, you can repeat it as many times as you want. And this plus symbol will appear when you move your pointer outside the borders of the table. Look, inside it, the plus symbol is not appearing. I am moving the pointer onto this divider, but the plus symbol is not appearing. And this way, if I reach at this point outside the borders of the table, the plus symbol has started appearing. So this is how to insert a new column. Same way, you can right click inside any of the cells of the column. I'm clicking, look, this one. I'm clicking inside the third cell of the last column. The context menu is appearing, and again go to the insert menu, insert option, and columns to the left and columns to the right. So I'm clicking insert columns to the right. Look, automatically a new column is inserted onto the right side of the column which was selected. So this way we learned how to insert new rows and how to insert new columns. Now it's a time to learn how to delete a particular row or a particular column. So let's learn it. The methods are very simple and the same methods almost we have been following. I am right clicking inside I'm right clicking inside the third cell or third column of the second row. The same context menu is appearing, and now this time choose delete cells. If you choose this, it will show this dialog box, delete entire row or delete entire column. So you can delete a row or a column completely by using these options. Actually, our intention was to delete this row. So go to click this delete entire row option. Make sure that this button is checked, and now finally click the OK button. Look, that particular row is removed. Another method that is a bit quicker is if you want to delete all of these rows, then select these rows with the help of mouse by clicking and drag, or by using the shift and right arrow first and then down arrow. So with the help of shift and arrow keys, you can select the cells of a table, or by using the mouse click and drag, you can select multiple cells or multiple rows or multiple columns. So now when the selection is done, now right click anywhere onto this grayish area, and this time the options are different. Delete cells, and this was our intention, because the context menu is different but the option remains the same, that is delete cells. Click this option, the same dialog box is appearing, delete entire row, and finally click OK button. Look, because we selected more than one rows, so all the rows are deleted or removed from the table. Same way, if you select just one row, right click, delete cells and entire row. Likewise, you can select a particular column, right click and delete columns. It will delete the columns completely. Similarly, right click and delete columns. So viewers, this way, today we learned how to insert table, how to insert rows, and how to insert columns, how to delete a single or more than one rows, or how to delete a single or more than one columns from our table. Finally, I suggest you that because this table contains some data, so finally save this file, and uh, in the same folder, if you remember that we have been saving the files, like in my case I'm saving it in on my D drive and in MS Words folder, and I'm giving it name table 1. So finally click the save button. The file is saved. Viewers, hopefully today you learned something about the table. Hope to see you again. Do not forget to subscribe my channel and do not forget to like the video. Goodbye.